Peace, power, and love to all my real ones out there. Welcome to the new channel where truth is the only language spoken. If you're riding with me, make sure you share this, give it a thumbs up, and hit that subscribe button. We're about to drop nothing but facts, and you don't want to miss what's next in my journey of reborn freedom. To my loyal followers, those who've stood by me through thick and thin, you're always welcome here. Let's keep it 100 and stay united. Onward, family. Now let's get started with my first video blog. All right, listen up. I'm about to drop some serious knowledge on you, and I need you to pay attention. There's talk out there from some of our people about wanting to see this country fall. They say they don't care if America collapses, some even hope for it. But let me tell you something, and I need you to feel me on this. That kind of talk is dangerous, it's reckless, and it's going to bring nothing but pain to our community. The real deal, what happens when you wish for collapse. You see, when you start wishing for the collapse of this country, you're playing with fire. You think things are bad now? You haven't seen bad until you've seen what happens when a country falls apart. Economic destruction. The first thing that goes is the economy. No jobs, no money, no food on the table. Everything we fought for, everything we've built up over the years, it's all gone, just like that. The wealth gap, it gets wider. Those who have the least suffer the most. And you know who that is. It's us, the black community. Violence in the streets. When the economy crumbles, people get desperate. And when people get desperate, the streets turn into a war zone. You think police brutality is bad now? Wait until there's no law at all. It'll be survival of the fittest out there. And believe me, when the bullets start flying, it's our neighborhoods that'll be hit the hardest. Political and military breakdown. The government, gone. The military, split up into factions. Now, who do you think is going to rise up in that chaos? Not us. It'll be those with the most power, the most guns, and the least interest in our survival. And let's be real. We've seen what happens when those kinds of people get power. We'll be right back in the chains we broke free from. The fallout, the price. Our people will pay now. Let's talk about the fallout. Let's talk about what happens when you wish for destruction and it actually comes to pass. Total collapse. When this country falls, everything you know, everything your parents, your grandparents worked for, it's all gone. Schools closed, hospitals shut down, grocery stores empty. And don't think for a second that anyone's going to come and save us. We'll be left to fend for ourselves in a world that's turned its back on us. Long-term damage. This isn't just about the short term. The damage from a collapse like that will last for generations. You think we've been set back before? This would be like taking everything back to the days before civil rights, before any of the progress we've made. Your children, your grandchildren, they'll be paying the price for your wishes long after you're gone. The reality check. So I've got to ask, why? Why are you wishing for the fall of the only place you've ever called home? Why are you spreading this kind of poison, talking like you want to see it all burn down? If you hate this country so much, then why are you still here? It's time to wake up, my people. Wishing for this country's collapse is a fool's game. All it's going to do is bring death and destruction to our doorsteps. It's going to erase everything we've fought for, everything we've achieved. You want change? You want justice? You don't get that by burning down the house. You get that by making it stronger, by standing tall and demanding what's ours, the path forward. Now, I'm not saying we accept things as they are. Hell no! We fight for what's right. We push for change, but we do it smart. We do it in a way that builds our people up, not tears them down. We don't wish for collapse. We fight for control. We don't wish for destruction. We fight for power. We've got to be strategic. We've got to be united. And we've got to understand that our survival depends on our ability to see the big picture. The time for reckless talk is over. The time for action is now. So the next time you hear someone wishing for the fall of this country, you check them. You tell them what's really at stake. Because if we're not careful, we're going to lose everything we've worked for. And I don't know about you, but I'm not about to let that happen on my watch. First and foremost, let me extend a powerful shout out to Sister Vickie Dillard for holding it down with unwavering strength, 10 toes down. I stand with this queen who's always kept it real, never wavering in the face of adversity. Now, let me be clear. I reached out to my people at Vice, and they sent me something that needs to be shared with you all. It's about the serpent that took down one of our own, a brother betrayed by the system. Understand this, I'm doing this because I've been betrayed by those I once trusted. I've severed ties with the past, focusing now on our future, on our rights, our freedom, and the protection of our people. Let it be known, I speak for myself and no one else speaks on my behalf. With that said, it's time to hear the truth from Jamal Truelove, to listen to his story in his own voice. And let this be a wake-up call. Kamala Harris, prosecutors sent this innocent man to prison. We have the power to stop her from tearing down our freedom. Wake up, people.
Never in a million years I would have thought that they were going to charge me for Sell's murder. I never talked to no detective, no police officer, no DA, nobody.
Just arrested and then charged?
Arrested and charged, that's it.
Was the first time you saw Kamala Harris in person the day that the verdict was issued?
She showed up at the two most pivotal times in this first trial, and me being convicted and me being sentenced. She wanted to be present for a celebration of a conviction.
That's what it felt like, celebration?
A celebration, that's what it felt like. The reactions I get when I tell people my story is, they say it's the worst nightmare. You know, it's the closest thing to dying.
Jamal, I'm going to read you a quote real quick. The job of a progressive prosecutor is to look out for those overlooked, to speak up for those whose voices aren't being heard, to see and address the causes of crime, not just their consequences, and to shine a light on the inequality and unfairness that lead to injustice. It is to recognize that not everyone needs punishment, that what many need, quite obviously, is help. Kamala Harris wrote that in her book, The Truths We Hold. Does that sound consistent with the with the brand of justice that you saw administered by offices that she was running?
It definitely sounds like Kamala Harris right now as a senator. But at the time of her being the head district attorney of San Francisco, that is almost polar opposite of what I felt and what our community felt in San Francisco.
So Jamal, where are we?
Right now we are in Sunnydale Projects, where I was born and raised at. Now, this isn't a place that you'll want to bring outsiders into, and a place that they don't want to go. This ain't a place that feels comfortable. It feels like you might get robbed, you might get shot.
The police were keeping files on you, and your brothers, and other people who were living in Sunnydale from a very young age.
They already had me labeled because I'm in this community as a potential gang member, potential killer, potential drug dealer. You gotta wake up to the fact that, you know, things are set up against us.
There is a conspiracy.
Yes.
It happened to you.
Exactly.
It's proven in court.
Absolutely. Places like this have been developed for predominantly African American people to not be able to succeed beyond it.
Yeah. What did you know about Kamala Harris? What did you know about San Francisco having a black DA?
Nobody in the hood ever worried or focused on the DA position in general, but people did focus on it just a tad bit, that it was black, and feeling like, okay, this black lady in office, Kamala Harris, she was gonna understand where we come from, you know, and have more of a sympathetic way of prosecuting people that come from our communities who have been plagued with no opportunities. This is Hunter's Point, where these different projects and communities used to really war with each other.
Jamal, in July 2007, what's going on in your life at that point?
I had recently just came off of I Love New York, and also that's when my friend Sel Kuka got killed.
More than a year goes by and no one's been arrested in the case. You hadn't even been questioned.
Haven't even been questioned, no. The police was still, trying to get a conviction by all means necessary. When I was arrested for it, the community knew I didn't do it. And it was here we go again. See, this is why we don't trust, law enforcement, because it gets to a point where somebody who didn't do something goes to jail for it. I don't have no history of crime. What's up, boy? I have a history of being around in the community, but that doesn't mean that I'm a suspect. I'm like, oh man, I'll be out within 72 hours. They're gonna figure this out. They're gonna clear this up.
And then when you found out what the evidence was that they supposedly had you on, there wasn't much there. Can you describe what it was?
They had a woman saying that she seen me kill Sel. The second witness that they had really wasn't a witness at all. She said anything that the police officers wanted her to say, and they said that her recollection of the events was extremely credible. So that's what ultimately got the arrest warrant.
The District Attorney of San Francisco, Kamala Harris, appeared in the courtroom during your trial twice.
Yeah, the two times that Kamala Harris showed up to my trial was when I got convicted, and also when they laid down the sentencing.
When you saw her on the day that the verdict was handed down, did you take that as a bad sign?
It felt to me that she was well aware about my case, and she was there to set her presence, almost take pride in getting a conviction. When I put in my appeal, the people that's fighting against my appeal to keep the conviction is the Attorney General office. I learned it reading, their reply to my appeal, and you see Kamala Harris' name at the bottom. And now it's starting to feel a little personal.
When you win the $13.1 million, it's a massive settlement. Did you feel like that was enough?
There's not an amount that could get back those 7 years. That 6.5 years that I spent in prison. But instead of me coming home feeling like I was a victim, I wanted to prove that I'm a survivor, and I will not let my story go unheard. I'm not necessarily saying I'm looking for an apology, but some acknowledgement from her that she could have messed up would be, of course, that'd be huge. You could have made some mistakes. You could have missed some things. For me, it was a big miss. I had life in prison. I've met people in prison that was wrongfully convicted. I want my story to be out to provoke reform ultimately. Beyond that, I want to be able to be who I want to be. I'm an actor, I'm a musician, I'm a father. I'm more than this person that was framed. I'm more than this person that was wrongfully convicted.
And let this be a wake-up call. Kamala Harris, prosecutors sent this innocent man to prison. We have the power to stop her from tearing down our freedom. Wake up, people. Don't get caught up in the reruns and the noise they're putting out there. Let me make this clear. I speak for myself, and nobody, I mean nobody, is allowed to talk on my behalf. So if you're hearing anything that didn't come directly from me, you already know what to do with that. Now, it's true, I'm out of the country, and let me tell you, as long as this Biden administration is still running the show in the country we built with our own blood, sweat, and tears, I ain't coming back. That's right, I said it. And as for the one claiming to be one of us, don't get it twisted. You're a fool if you support her. Look deeper, family. Not everything that looks like us thinks like us. I'll leave you with this. Why did Satan appear as the serpent in the garden? Think on that. There's always a reason behind the disguise. Stay sharp, stay vigilant, and remember who you are. Grandmaster J out.